So, welcome everybody to a new video of Ratchet Repairs. In this one I'm going to be doing the vehicle mode of new Age Mista, also known as Soundwave. Before I go into vehicle mode, I actually have him in robot mode, as you might have spotted for the keen-eyed viewers among you.
Are you being sarcastic or something, my son?
That's because I want to go and remove the wheels, because I'm going to be using these wheels on him. And that's way much easier to do while the other wheels are off, because I don't need them anyway. Yeah. Calipers shouldn't move with the wheels. It actually gives you a really rough ride. Before I'm going to transform him into vehicle mode, I decided to take the wheels off, which is quite easy because everything on him is done with screws. So I just need to remove them. So for that I'm going to be using a screwdriver with a Phillips head. And then you can just screw them out. Small tip, if you're got a magnet, you stick it to the screwdriver. You actually magnetize it a little bit, and if you don't drop the screw, it would be easy to get them out, because it will stick to your screwdriver, as you can see. I'm not going to be using these wheels, so I'll be putting the screws on the back side of the new wheels, give them a couple turns, and that's one wheel ready to paint with the new screw installed. The new screw also allows you to have the wheel rotate, so you can actually have the wheel moving and the caliper being in one spot, because the caliper will be mounted to the piece that will actually have the wheel arm. So the idea is to mount the caliper this way on top of the wheel arch. So this will stick in place. The brake disc will fit in there, and then you'll screw the wheel in and you'll have a proper caliper in one way, the disc moving around with the wheel and the wheel looking pretty. So yeah, I'll go on and remove the wheels from the lower halves as well, and then next thing you'll see is him in vehicle mode ready for paint, and then we'll talk about the car a little bit more. So here we have him in this vehicle mode without the wheels. I think it was parked in the wrong area somewhere. But yeah, as you can see, I'm prepping him for paint, because I'll show you some pictures of the original vehicle next to this one. And the metallic is just a little bit too shiny and the silver is just a little too dark. So I'll remedy that, and next thing you'll see is me getting him ready for paint. But before I do that, I want you to take a look at the details, because these should be the exhausts. I did try and make some 3D parts for it, but I just decided it's so tight around the edges that it might be difficult to paint or to fill them in, so I'll just make them black. Same with the mesh for the diffuser on the rear, and the same goes for the front. There's just a little bit of blackening out that needs to be done, especially in here. It needs to be full black on the top of that, so you can actually have the proper dimensions. The inside of the taillights are also a darker grey, and the blinker should be here on this side, and the movie version had the side markers, which I really don't like, and Soundwave doesn't have them in vehicle mode or in robot mode, sorry. It's just early and I just got my first cup of coffee, so I might be a bit blurry sometimes. But yeah, beside the silver, this also should be blacked out, same with the bit on top. And on the rear, this bit should have the brake light in there. It is silver, however, on the real car. And I need to add the Mercedes logo here. And I need to do something about the taillights, because they're not just red like this. They're more like a gunmetal with a red rim around and two silver lines, which I'll show you in a picture. At least my editor is going to. So yeah, let's have some comparisons with real vehicle. That's why I keep them a little bit higher. It is a really, really good car. I really like it a lot. I did, however, as I might have mentioned before, hate these wheels. Now, I actually made two sets of these wheels. I made them one with the tire because I like the profile better. But since these tires are rubber, I also have a wheel that actually follows this profile if people want to keep the tires. But yeah, I'll just paint them in, because the tires should be just a little bit narrower on the car. They've got 35 tire and this looks like a 50. So details. But let's get this guy ready for paint. Oh yeah, before I do that, put some of the wheels in there. So yeah, so much better. I'm even tempted to get just slightly bigger rear tire. I need to see if that's correct on the real vehicle. So I'll be right back. So I just did some digging, and it actually is the fact that the original AMG has 19 in the front and 20 in the rear, with a 265 tire in the front and a 295 tire in the rear. So I need to print 2 bigger rear wheels, which I'll do now, and then it's time to get this guy painted. I gave this guy a proper wash. I always do use a degreaser and a bit of soap to make sure that everything is properly degreased and ready for the paint. So next up will be tape. So for the paint job, I'm going to be using Mr. Hobby's silver, just plain silver. I'll be adding a clear coat with just a dash of blue pigments on it later. But for now I just wanted to make sure that the vehicle mode is getting everything it needs. So yeah, silver, mix it. Make sure it's thick enough. Yeah, this is the perfect color. So let's get him ready for paint. Always check if your brush is in good working order. And make sure that everything is well ventilated. And here we go. So these are the first and second coats done. It's just nothing weird, it's just a plain silver color. Silver metallic, and I'll be adding a clear coat later with just a little bit of blue in there. I'm not sure if I'm going to be using this one. It's pigmented blue, or if I'm going to use the slightly darker one. And maybe I'll even go and mix in some purple in there. For now, I'm going to let this guy dry for a bit, and then we'll be back to him. So I added a little of the blue to a lot of clear, and it is, if you shake it properly, a nice clear blue, and it doesn't show off too much. So this will be the clear coat, and then we'll be doing the details on him. So it's back to the paint booth. So next step will be for the wheels, to add the metal color. This is almost a chrome, but it's actually a little bit darker, and it's just slightly less glossy, so it actually will work quite well for wheels. So with the wheels painted, you can actually see them shine up right here, but they're quite shiny. There still needs to be a little bit of gunmetal grey inside of the wheel. I just need to paint the tire, but let the wheels cure for a little while longer. I have to focus on the headlights, because I removed the windows, as you can see. They need to be black, for instance, and they need to have some silver bits in there. Over here is where they usually have the silver in there, with the headlight itself. Over here they've got a line of LEDs, and underneath they've got a line of LEDs, which actually includes indicators. So I'll do those first before I hit them with a clear coat. And I'll also be blacking out the inside of the wheel arches. I'll be doing the headlight bits in normal black, and I'll also be using the same black for some other bits. I'll just do the cleanup first. So for clear ups, I'll just use a bit of cleaner. This just is a little bit of rubbing alcohol, basically. And now we can do the black. So before I'll be able to lock everything down, even though that's another character, I need to add blinkers here and there. They're just 2 stripes and they're a bit of dark orange. So I'll be using my copper orange again. And I'll just make 2 subtle lines where they need to go. It always helps if you're sure that your lines on both ends have about the same size. And then you can always choose to put the side markers in. They'll be on this side here. I prefer not to because Soundwave doesn't have them in the movie, at least not in robot mode. And I don't like them that much, they actually ruin the line of the car a little bit. So yeah, next up I'll black out the wheel wells. Which I think my editor will make a fast video about, a fast forward. And then he's ready to get some clear on him. So flat black, obviously. This actually helps give you a little bit of depth when you look at the side of the vehicle with the tires installed. These and the calipers and brakes will actually add a little bit of depth and make it look like it's a real car. So I almost forgot something which might be a little bit of importance before I hit the paint booth for the clear coat. And that's something around the area here. It's a taillight. And now since it's molded in and I don't have anything black behind it, I have to do this by hand, which is always a little bit scary. But I can do that. I have some masking tape and quite a steady hand, so I can allow myself to go and do the lights as they should. They should have a black rim around them and a big red line in between. So make sure that the line follows the same line everywhere. And then you get your Mica red, which is always a nice color to use on taillights and stuff. So now you should be left with something that looks like this, 2 red stripes, which isn't really how the taillights look because they actually have some dark gray lines as well, which I'll be using gunmetal. The headlights, I'm going to be reinstalling the glasses. So here we go. Now you will get a montage of me inserting the brake calipers into the wheel arches. So just because I suck a little bit, I decided to finish off the gunmetal inlays that the wheels have. So this will be the end result that you'll do to all the 4 wheels. So with all the details done, it's time to give him a clear coat, which I'll do right now. So good morning everyone, and here you see him in his new shiny paint job. It doesn't catch on camera quite well, but it's properly shiny. So yeah, it's time to get in there with the flat black. As always, I'll be using the one from Mr. Hobby, which obviously I'll share a link in the description below. Flat black will be next. I also bought this from my friends at DP Toy Store on AliExpress. It's a decal set for this little fella, and I'm going to be using the Mercedes logo here because it needs to be on the front. I'm going to be using this one, and I'm going to be using the SLS AMG, and I'll be using this for the robot mode Cybertronic Ludicrous, and I'll be using the Decepticon logo. So I just dropped them in the water and I'll be adding them soon. There we go. So next up will be me adding the black to the vehicle mode, and then we can go on with the other stuff. Oh, I just noticed I forgot dirt brake lights, which is there in this bit of silver. Here we are, everything looks as it should now, and it's ready for its final clear coat. And then it's on with the wheels, and then this video is done, and we'll be seeing each other next week for, of course, the robot mode. So yeah, here we go. So since I'm a little bit of a time restraint at the moment, I decided to just put the wheels on it so you can actually see how it looks, how Galvatron turned out. Galvatron, where that came from. So this is how Soundwave came out. I hope to see you in the next video where I'll do the robot mode and maybe even the finishing touches on the brake discs. So for now, thank you for watching, thank you for I hope liking and subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you next week with the Soundwave in his robot mode.